This morning, prosecutors are sharing the evidence behind why they are accusing a father of child neglect after his toddler drowned in a river near his home. According to new court documents, investigators say he was busy watching TV when the child wandered off, and they say it wasn't the first time something like that had happened. 2-year-old Dane Paulson disappeared from his home in March of 2025 and was found dead in the Siletz River 10 days later. His death was ruled a drowning. According to newly released court documents, his father, Aaron Paulson, was in their home watching television when Dane wandered away, while Dane's mother was cleaning up a trailer on the family's property. The court documents also include testimony from a former neighbor who said Dane's older sister had often been left alone outside as a toddler, as well as statements from a teenager who said he found Dane in 2024 standing on the highway about 100 yards from his home. The court granted prosecutors' motion to include these details in the trial, which is scheduled for July. Aaron Paulson has pleaded not guilty to child neglect.